and welcome to another episode of the United Talk TV. I'm your host today, Lee, and today we're going to be discussing Leicester versus United. It's been an insane season, if we can say that, and I guess it's all going to boil down to this. As always, I'm joined by the charismatic Patso, our resident stat man and tactician Don Roo Desai, and two very special guests today we got from all the way from KZN, Kloof to be specific, now moved over to Johannesburg, lifelong friend, Mr. Travis Frank, and hailing all the way from the land of the rising sun. We've got our top red all the way from Japan, Mr. ZB Zany Boy Abba. So, gents, let's kick it off. So, in Jan, Patso, let's start with you. Right, in Jan, if somebody had told you, listen, one, it's going to boil down to the last game of the season. You're still going to be in Europa, and you're going to need 1 point for Champions League football. Would you have taken that in January?
It's such a tough one. I probably would have said yes because of how we were playing prior to Bruno joining. Because we looked like a team out of sorts that was just riding on luck all the time. But after Bruno joined, it was technically Feb, and we started going on that mad run, I honestly thought we'd have this thing wrapped up by now.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one. I would have liked United to be in a better place, but I guess at the end of the day, we probably would have taken it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Trev. Let's go over to you. What do you think, buddy? If somebody told you in Jan, listen, we will be out of FA Cup, but we'll still be in the running for Europa, and we one game away, and we just need a draw for us to reach Champions League. What would you have taken it at the time?
Yeah, I think just to reiterate what Patso said, I mean...
Yeah,
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello? Yeah, just to reiterate what Patso said, we weren't having the greatest of runs. Pre-lockdown, I think lockdown was actually a good thing for us. Came out a lot stronger. Pogba coming back in. So yeah, I would definitely take the third place and go for the win tomorrow. With Europa still potential for us. But yeah, I believe we turned it around and we turned our season around. So hopefully we can get the 3 points tomorrow.
Yeah, no, definitely. Zany, tell me, bro, what do you think? So if let's say we win, right, on Sunday, we get the win, we get the 3 points, we in Champions League. Do you think we should still go all out for Europa?
Yeah, I would say we should. I think we need a trophy. A trophy always makes every season better. So Europa is not we laugh at it, but Europa is still a big trophy. It's still a decent win to get under your belt. So definitely, I think we should push for the Europa. The only thing is, the season starting in September, we're not going to have a lot of time for resting and getting ready for the next season. So that Europa is going to be hard.
Yeah, look, if we make it to the final of Europa, we've literally got 2 weeks before the season starts again. So, do we rest players? Do we go all out? Do we, what do we do? So you say trophy is always, something good to get under the belt. I tend to agree there. Look, third place is good, but to end of the season with third place and a trophy, I think would be would be much better. Also, it says a lot about Ole's first season. Coming in, he was getting a lot of stick from a lot of the fans, rival fans, from everyone. For him to come out and win a trophy, a major trophy, and to get third place, I think would be a great one. Donru, what would you think as our stat man? What would you think, and tactician? What do you think would be the best approach for Leicester and going forward?
I think we should just stick to what brought us success so far. So Ole shouldn't overthink it and try too much different tactics like what he did for Chelsea. He should stick to what brought him success before that. The three forward, the three men in midfield and four at the back. Don't try too much tweaking. Just maybe, if I can show the lineups, I think just what he should do maybe is give instructions for Matic just to stay a little bit back and make sure Vardy doesn't get behind our defense. Because if Vardy's one goalkeeper, it's a goal. Vardy's the best striker in the league at the moment. Yeah. So I think we should stick with what's doing well for us so far. We should just play our best 11. Yeah.
You reckon Matic slot into the middle of the defense just for a bit of extra backup so that we don't have those.
Yeah. So I wouldn't encourage him to go too forward in attack, like up front to the enemy's half of the pitch too much. One change I would possibly make to our best 11 is perhaps bringing in Fred for Pogba, because Pogba's head seems to have dropped in the last couple of games. So perhaps I would bring in Fred just to do energetic job in midfield with the similar instructions to Matic. Just mop up the ball, always recover the ball, make sure Vardy does not get behind our defense. Definitely. Apart from that, I'd stick with the strongest 11 and whatever we've done so far. I hope he doesn't think like, some players are tired or whatever. It doesn't matter. We only got one game and we need to get a result from it. So play the strongest 11.
Yeah. And so you say strongest 11 on Sunday would be without Pogba, but instead having Fred in that position.
That's what I would go for. Yeah. Maybe Pogba come off the bench if he is needed. Yeah. But this is what I would go for.
All right. Well, Pato, do you think Ole is going to take the approach of, playing for a draw, being cautious, or do you think he's going to go full out attack, score the goals, end the game in the first half, and then just basically close shop? Well, what's your thoughts there?
I think you'll probably want to tell the guys, take your chances if you get your chances. I don't think we'll go all out for attack because our team, the way we've played best on the counter, we've got so much pace up front with Martial, Greenwood, and Rashford, and obviously Bruno being able to unlock them. That when the team comes at us, we're just able to counter them. So he's probably going to say, Leicester have to do the job. They're the ones who need the win. So let's see if we can catch them as much on the break as possible, because that's honestly where we're the strongest, when we're able to catch teams on the break. So that's going to more than likely work in our favor. The only thing is I hope he has a word with Bruno, because I think what I noticed in the last two games was every pass of Bruno, and he's an exciting player, right? Let's get nothing wrong. It's why we bought him. But sometimes he tries to make every pass a Hollywood pass, And sometimes he has so much space around him. He doesn't realize how much space he has around him, and he wants to just hit the ball first time as the pass, which is not necessary. They should maybe just hold the ball, control it a little bit, look for the pass, because he tends to, in the last few games, he gave away possession just a little bit too much. And I know why he's doing it, because he's that guy who's always going to take risks, and we need a player like that, because we haven't had one like that for forever in our team. But if he's going to take too many risks, we might come undone against Leicester.
Yeah, no, definitely. Look, I was watching some footage last night of where we are strongest, and you're right in saying that on the counter attack. If you look at Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, and Bruno going forward, the pace that we've got going forward is crazy. And if you look at Leicester's defense, they've now got Wes Morgan, they've got Evans, and what's his name? I can't remember that. But their back line is very, very slow. So we're going to have to exploit their back line in that sense, because we know they don't have the pace going back, whereas we got that pace going forward. So like you say, we're going to have to try and play it a bit, on the cautious side, and then move for that counter attack. But yeah, great. I think that's probably the way he's going to, we're going to try and play, because like you say, they need the win. We don't. We just need the draw, So yeah, with regards to Leicester and Brendan Rodgers, Zaini, on your side, do you think top team or not?
Leicester, they're a strange one. They really are a strange team. I mean, they go up and down to the extreme degree sometimes. But what it seems like, Rodgers has definitely brought in some consistency to the team. They seem to have self-belief. I mean, right now they're fighting for a top 3 spot, which says a lot. Even though, they were champions more recently than we were champions. But, they had some really shocking seasons in between. I think what's going to happen is we need to see how they do next season. See if they can keep that consistency going. If Rodgers is able to keep his... Because one of the criticisms for Rodgers is, he can do it for 1 or 2 seasons, but then he's kind of... His stick gets a bit old and players stop believing. So let's see if he's learned some lessons from his time in Scotland. If he can keep that the motivation high for next season, and then we'll see if Leicester are, for the long run.
Yeah, Trev, your side, what do you think? Leicester, Brendan, top team, not?
Yeah, I think let's not take anything away from Brendan. I mean, he did a good job when he was at Liverpool. Unfortunately, he didn't get the extra time he needed there. But it seems like it's almost deja vu for him, a case of, almost there but didn't make it, if they don't finish in the top 4, But I think he's done well with the squad that he has. He doesn't have the depth of squad like the rest of the top 4 do. And he's managed to take like average players from, you look at Johnny Evans and he's turned him into a pretty solid centre back,
Definitely,
So I think he definitely, like I said, give him credit where it's due. Give credit to Leicester where it's due. Exactly what Zayn said though, let's see how consistent they can be. Like what was it, 2015-16 champions, then probably bottom 10 in the last few seasons, and then now challenging for top 4. So, let's see how it goes.
And do you think their recent form is a thing of players being tired, or do you think the injuries hurt them badly?
I think the injuries have taken a toll on them. I mean, we saw what Spurs did to them, with like you mentioned, the slow defense. What's his name? Bennett was very exposed. So I think that's where we need to take advantage tomorrow. But overall, definitely, I think even if they don't finish top 4, I think they should be pleased with the top 6 finish. And still getting some European football.
Still getting Europa, Mr. Don Rue, you've coined the phrase "rat club." You reckon Leicester rat club?
No, Leicester ceased being a rat club when they won the Champions, the Premier League against all odds, 5,000 to 1 odds. That, I think, bought them a free pass from being called a rat club. I have good respect for Leicester for what they achieved that season. And they're on the list of like the 6 Premier League winners, 5 or 6 Premier League winners. So they cease to be a rat club for me. But I mean, like Zayn and Travis said, they're up and down. They could be relegated next season. But I don't think so, because I think Rodgers is building something well. They got some good players like Maddison.
They've got some quality there.
And Didi. But when Jamie Vardy, who's a old, although
Yeah.
he's a late bloomer. He's doing well, and maybe a few more seasons. When Jamie Vardy leaves, they'll have to replace him because right now I think he's like their most potent weapon, and kind of like the club is built around
That's it.
him.
Yeah. That's it. It seems like their whole game is just, long ball to Vardy kind of thing. And that's where he's scoring most of his goals. So if you kind of eliminate that threat of Vardy, you should keep them in check. Patso, your quick thoughts on that one? Sorry, Ru.
I was just going to say they got a couple of supporting acts like Iheanacho and that Ayoze Perez, but Vardy's the main guy.
Yes, yeah. Patso, your quick thoughts there?
I think the guys covered the points perfectly well. I think that the only thing to add to that is Leicester have got very good owners, They've invested in the club well as well.
Yeah.
And they've put the money when they needed to put the money. So that's really helped them,
Yeah.
And
definitely.
And they got £80 million out of us for Maguire. So, they...
they negotiated well on that one.
I think the thing that Leicester does well is they take the points where they can. They don't struggle against the bottom half of the league. So when it comes to the top half, they can afford to drop a point or two. So I think that's what helped him this season is taking the points off the teams that were there for the taking.
And look, you make a good point there, Trev. Leicester have done that. They've taken the points where they needed to, whereas we have kind of struggled in that sense where, where we should have taken points. We either, drawing there or we losing. So it's a good point you make there of, you need to take the points where it's available. I mean, we've done well against the top 5, but when it came to those lower teams, if you look at the amount of draws we've had this season, if just 2 of those draws were converted to wins, we wouldn't have been in the situation that we're in now. We've been already 3rd place with Champions League wrapped up already. Good point there.
Yeah, Lee, but just one. Sorry, on what you're saying, besides the draws, even like some of the games that we lost, we just should never have lost. Like any one of those losses were a win, and we clear. We're not worried about this last day thing.
No, 100%. So it's all about taking your chances, and I just hope that we've got this one last chance, this one lifeline. I mean, we had the lifeline when Chelsea dropped a few points weeks before. We couldn't do it at the Southampton game. With the West Ham game, either way, we would have had to win this last game. So win or draw, it was the same thing. But I just hope we've got this lifeline now. I just hope we can actually capitalize, and take the lifeline and get those 3 points. So, last point, guys. Player of the season. Who do you guys think is your United's player of the season? Patso, let's start with you there. If you think about pre-lockdown, or pre-lockdown and the restart, and a bit of the start of the season where we had those good runs, it's been a very long season. Who would you say was United's player of the season?
Tough one, Lee. We've had some real good breaths of fresh air, like Mason and Fernandes. They've came in and they've really changed our way of play, and so good to see one of our youngsters scoring 17 goals for the season. Bruno, when he came on and he was just going on a crazy winning streak, we were all so excited. But if I look at the whole season in its entirety, I probably got to go with Wan-Bissaka, because he's probably been our most consistent player. Defended like a boss from day one, maybe not so great going forward, but I think that will come into his game. And actually, I think he's been very good going forward. I think he's just been unlucky that sometimes his passes, the strikers haven't made the right runs to find his passes. But as a defender, he's been phenomenal, and he's went up against some of the league's best wingers. Like you think about Sterling and Mane, and then he's kept them all like quiet, I mean, we won both games against City because of Bissaka, because he kept Sterling quiet in all those matches. So for me, he's our player of the season.
All right, good points you make there. Look, I think with you're talking about the the strikers just not making the right runs and all of that. We have to realize it's his first season at United. So I think the more they play together, the more they're going to start finding each other. So let's hope, next season that they, going forward, they start clicking and they get that. And, we can get Wan-Bissaka, up to the standards of, I don't want to mention any names because we all know who I'm going to mention. But, get him up to those standards where he's putting in those crosses, getting those assists, and, we're scoring those goals. Trav, your player of the season?
I tend to go with Wan-Bissaka as well. Like Warren mentioned, the quality going forward, but I think we're comparing him to the likes of he has to fill big shoes of Valencia, which Valencia had. He started as a right winger, and Ferguson molded him into a right back. So I think he had the quality going forward to start with. So I think Bissaka just has to get that final ball, but the quality of the final ball improve. And for me, if he can do that, I'd play him over Trent in the England squad as well. Rachel can keep me honest here, but I think he's still got the stats of the highest successful tackles in the second season in a row now. So,
I think defensively, there's no defender, no right back that's got better stats than him at the moment. So you're right there,
and I mean, I think
Trev,
we can't, it was a bit of, I think, bad timing for the likes of McTominay, but I really also enjoyed his performances pre-lockdown as well. Before Pogba came back, I think him and Fred controlled that midfield. So I think if he saw the season through, he would have been a close second for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think McTominay was a standout performance as well. So definitely should be taken into consideration for some sort of award if there is like a second best or second player of the season or whatever. Like you say, he just never got the game time that he needed. But let's see what happens next season. Look, Matic is getting old, so somebody has to fill those shoes. So maybe he's going to be the guy to step up. Donru, what are your thoughts there, buddy?
My thoughts, before the lockdown, we were just carrying on. We were far off the pace. In fact, in January, before we signed Bruno, we played 4, lost 3, won 1. We lost to Arsenal, Liverpool, and Burnley 2-0 at home. Then we signed Bruno Fernandes, and things changed. So Bruno Fernandes, for me, is the player of the season for us. I know there was a lot of unsung heroes. Harry Maguire even played well. I mean, clean sheets. Matic played well. Came after lockdown. Some impressive performances. I just remember that Matic ball for that one counter. For me, Bruno's the player of the season because he changed our fortunes. Martial a close second, and young player of the year. Who else? Who's our young player of the year? I think that's
of course Mason. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. That's my thoughts.
Definitely. Mr. Zibi, what do you think?
I was in two minds. On the one hand, I definitely think Wan-Bissaka, solid choice. Consistent, exciting player going forward. Beast at the back. Kind of has it all in his first season. But on the other hand, I also think Rashford has kind of been a bit of a revelation this season. Thinking about his constant improvement from last season to this season, he's got more goals this season. Before Bruno arrived, he was kind of carrying the team a lot in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
And Bruno has kind of come in and taken the limelight away from him second half. But Rashford still bagged 17 goals in the league this year.
Yeah.
Up from last year. And also, it's good to see a hometown lad, like a Manchester boy, coming through and showing like he has what it takes to be, a top striker, world quality striker. Having said that, though, we also agree with now knocking on the door. So, it's good. It's good to see the young talent coming through from the youth team and really like stepping up the game. I think Rashford has been a really good example for any other youth team player. So,
we have to take into consideration as well that Rashford was injured for quite some time as well. So he's got the goals, he's got the assists, and he's had time out as well. So definitely a standout season for Rashford.
And let's not forget. Let's not forget
Sorry,
his
Patso?
off the field contribution as well. It's probably been like the best from any player in all of England.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So that also has to be taken into consideration. So yeah, all you guys make valid points. It's a hard one to choose. Wan-Bissaka, definitely most consistent player. Rashford came through, banged in the goals. I think we have to make mention of Martial as well. Also on 22 goals, he's really upped his game.
First hat
prior
trick
to this season, since Van Persie.
Yeah.
So you were saying first hat-trick since Van Persie. So we have to make mention of Martial as well. Greenwood, you just can't leave that boy out. It's 17 goals for the season so far, and we still have 5 games left if we make it to the final of Europa. So who knows? He could finish on 20 plus goals, for the season in all competitions if we make it all the way to the final. So I think if we do make it to the final of Europa, and Mason does get 20 plus goals, I think he should definitely be considered player of the season for us. That's just my thoughts. So guys, this is the dreaded question. And Drew, since you're on screen, let's start with you. Score predictions for Sunday.
Score predictions for Sunday. I'm going to go with United 2-1 win. But we're going to obviously leave it like late-ish. I think the nerves will be there for a majority of the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my prediction.
Okay. Patso?
I don't want to do this.
Patso, you there?
Yeah, I don't want to do this. I can't even think about it. I'm sitting every night and I'm like, I don't want to watch this game on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then I want the game to come so you can just get over and done with. It's like, I don't know. I just fucking hell. Sorry, excuse my language, but this team just drives me mental sometimes. Okay, hand on heart, I'm going to say 2-0 United.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Zeni, what do you think, boy?
I reckon it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
Just based on the boys, they were just so tired in the last game, and we haven't had much time to recover. But having said that, I don't think that we always have goals in us. Like we know that.
Yeah.
So and the same for Leicester. They like to attack. So I think we'll end up being a draw, probably 1-1. That's my prediction.
All right. Trev, your last thoughts there?
Yeah, I'm actually quite optimistic, cautiously optimistic for tomorrow's game. I think we want to finish the season on a high, so I'm going to go with a 3-1 to United.
3-1. Yeah, look, I think we're going to come out, personally, all guns blazing. I think we're going to go and try and smash in as many. So I'm also going to go with like a high score, like 3-1, 4-1, somewhere around there. Fingers crossed. I was watching one of the FPL shows, and Mr. Don Hutchinson was also going with like a 4-1 United win.
United.
So let's, to United. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Gents, thanks for joining us. Zain, I know it's the time difference is a bit hectic for you to get on. So thanks for joining us there. Trev, thank you so much for making a guest appearance and giving us your thoughts. As always, Patso, Roo, thanks for the updates. Roo, thanks for getting your formations and all of that right. Gents, let's wait and see. Like Patso say, I don't know if I want the game to come quicker or if I just want to not watch it at all. It's one of those where since the West Ham game, I've sort of been running on autopilot, where you're not really thinking about anything else besides Sunday. So let's check what happens. Thanks so much, gents.
Cheers, gents.